Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're plunging into something really fascinating. It's this relationship between time, our sense of it, and online mental health peer support.
Yeah, it's quite an unexpected angle. We're looking at recent research by Ian Tucker, specifically on a UK platform, Peer Support. Together they call it PST.
Right, PST. And what's really grabbing us is this idea from Gilles Deleuze, the philosopher, his concept of the living present.
The idea that past, present, and future aren't, separate boxes on a timeline. They're all active right here, right now, in the present moment.
Exactly. So our mission today is to unpack how this plays out for real people using these online spaces based on their own experiences from the study.
It's so important. I mean, peer support itself isn't new, obviously. It's been incredibly valuable for ages, reducing isolation, offering that practical lived experience advice.
Absolutely vital connections, but often that was face-to-face, wasn't it?
It was. And now, well, we've seen this huge surge towards digital platforms.
Yeah, you think about maybe funding issues for community spaces, things like that. Plus, just the sheer convenience factor.
Definitely. These online platforms, they offer 24/7 availability, potentially a much wider group of people to connect with, and, you can do it from home.
Comfort of your own space.
But it's not all straightforward, is it? There are challenges. People worry about, like, is this person genuine? Or being exposed to really raw distress, unfiltered.
And maybe less empathy without being in the same room.
That's a concern, yeah. But to really get into the nuance, we have to think about time itself. And that brings us back to Deleuze and this living present.
Okay, so let's dig into that. He's saying past experiences, future worries, they're not just memories or anxieties about the future, they're actively shaping this moment.
Precisely. They are dimensions within the present. And often people reach out for support exactly when those different temporal dimensions feel, well, overwhelming right now.
Okay, so how do these digital platforms like PST actually open up time for people in ways that maybe traditional support doesn't? What did the research find?
Well, this is where it gets really interesting. Tucker talks about a kind of temporal openness on PST.
Temporal openness, meaning?
Meaning users, like one participant, Maya, felt they could talk about any part of their past. There wasn't this pressure, maybe like in some therapies, say DDT, to focus only on recent events or current skills.
So more freedom to explore the whole timeline.
Exactly, a real sense of agency. And crucially, the anonymity online. That made it feel safer to share things that were perhaps deeply sensitive or difficult.
That makes sense. That temporal openness idea is powerful.
Yeah.
And it connects to something else you mentioned, these platforms becoming a kind of digital memory.
They really do function that way. PST had this archiving feature. Users could go back, look at their old posts, their comments.
And not just look, but change them.
Yes, even edit or delete them. So another user, Mary, she talked about this giving her temporal control. It wasn't just about correcting mistakes.
No.
What else? She could use it to sort of manage difficult feelings tied to past posts, or even she mentioned using the archive to verify she'd been unwell longer than she realized, connecting her past and present in a concrete way.
Like curating her own history almost.
Kind of, yeah. But this digital nature, this always-on aspect, it creates its own problems, like the expectation of immediacy, support on tap.
Right, because the platform is there 24/7, you expect someone else to be too.
Exactly, and that's often not realistic. Maya, for instance, got really frustrated with PST's notifications. Sometimes they were delayed, which caused anxiety when she was waiting for a reply.
Or the opposite.
Or she'd get bombarded, overwhelmed, and just disengage. And another user, Hannah, pointed out that posts could get buried if the site was really busy.
Lost in the noise.
Yeah, or sit unanswered for ages if it was quiet. It creates this unrealistic temporal expectation. Even though the platform itself is always available, the people aren't always available.
So individual timelines or living presence are interacting online, but not always smoothly.
That's a great way to put it. Sharing your story is key, but someone else's story might be triggering for you, right? Your living present bumps into theirs.
How did people navigate that?
Well, Hannah learned to manage it. On days she felt fragile, she'd consciously skip past certain content. Protect her now.
But not always.
No, on better days, she'd actively engage, offer hope to others. It shows how fluid it is, how your interaction shifts depending on your own present state. It's not static.
So pulling this all together,
Yeah.
what does it suggest about the future of support, how we should think about these tools?
Well, one really positive thing was the impact of anticipating future support.
Just knowing it's there.
Exactly. A user named Laura said knowing PST is there as a foundation, something she could access quickly if needed, actually reduced her anxiety about future wobbles.
So the potential for future help brings comfort in the present.
Yes. Even if she wasn't actively using it right then, it builds a kind of temporal security. So connecting to that bigger picture, this digital mental health support, it's clearly not just about convenience, is it? It's fundamentally reshaping how we experience time.
How we interact with our own pasts, our futures, and how we connect with other people's timelines, all within this kind of messy, dynamic, living present online.
Absolutely.
Which, thinking about it, makes that living present on these platforms a really delicate balance.
Mm.
And this raises a final thought, something for you listening to consider.
Mm.
As these digital spaces become more and more central, how do we actually design them? How can we build these tools to really maximize the benefits, the openness, the connection, the future comfort, while also being really mindful and maybe managing these complex, nonlinear ways? Time starts to work when we take support online.